Radiant team ban.
Welcome. A year ago this time, the summer, the hot team was Bottom Bottom, now known as Dignitas, and on their way to TI3. Flash forward 1 year, 2013, the hot team, Arctic, now known as Denial, maybe on track for TI4. They're looking amazing. My name is Emma John, and I'm joined by Mott for this cast of the American Dota League. How are you doing, Mott?
Man, I'm doing great, and you definitely hit the nail on the head there. I think Team Dignitas, of course, showing their skills throughout this entire tournament, but you got to give props to Denial, formerly Arctic Gaming. I mean, of course, this is a big game for both of these teams, by the way. When you think about it, they're fighting over the third seed in the playoff spot right now. If Denial take this game, they have the head-to-head victories up against Dignitas. They'll be tied in wins and losses, but the head-to-head does go to Denial. So a big game indeed, and what a game to end on, I guess, for the league play.
Yeah, you said it the best. What a game to end on. This is going to be an amazing game, and we've been looking for this. I mean, it really comes down to how often are you going to look for a litmus test for a team? Because we've seen Arctic, now known as Denial, ante up time and time again. They've manned up. They've done well against Fnatic EU, who just beat Alliance today. So if we're going transitive properly, this team looks monstrous. But they've won against all the talent in North America, and now we want to see if they can do it against Dignitas. But I think a lot of the fans want to see that level of consistency from them, and this is a baby step towards that, getting a better position going into the playoffs. And what do you think? Do you think Arctic are on the same level as Dignitas?
I think they're maybe just like half a step below, if anything. I think they need to start getting a little bit more consistent play going. I mean, they need to get their strategies a little bit more together. But when they really play at their top level, you know, Smash is an absolutely great mid player, just out of his mind, really good at what he does. And on top of that, Denial has a great roster. But I think that Dignitas, they've been around for a while. Despite playing with a stand-in right now, I still think that they might be the better team here. But Denial's going to look to, of course, just change my mind here with that Darkseer pickup. You can see they also banded out the Nakes as well. And two picks going for Dignitas right now, but I do think that Dignitas, even with the stand-in, are still pretty good. And I believe Solace actually played in the previous game for EG, right?
Salas has played all three games now. He played with
Jeez.
Dignitas, he played with EG. He's just the universal stand-in, as one of the players on Denial said before the game. Let's take a look at the denies quickly. The denies, the bans quickly. We see Wisp and Batrider banned out from Dignitas, and that left Treant as well as the Lifestealer banned out from Denial. I'm a little bit curious, having seen these teams a lot, as you have as well, not seeing that first pick Nature's Prophet, picking up the Darkseer instead kind of prohibits you from picking up the Nature's Prophet, which we have seen Mihawk play so frequently. But Darkseer is a great hero in his own right, and Dignitas starting off with amazing team fight potential. Naga Siren and Gyrocopter, those two just have a great amount of synergy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think the Naga Siren really great at catching people out early, using that Song of Siren, get that team fight ready to go, make sure your heroes are in position, and just go to town on Denial. But you mentioned the Darkseer, definitely a popular pickup and a really good pickup as well. But you're right. I'm really surprised they're not going for the bread and butter with Mihawk's Nature's Prophet. You know, a lot of the South American teams and even North American teams really love that Nature's Prophet. If they want to go for both those heroes now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised because they could make it fit, but I just think that would be a little too greedy. And they, in fact, will go for that puck, which I think is a big pickup. And especially if Smash plays that, I think he could do a very fantastic job in that mid lane.
Yeah, I'm a little bit excited to see the puck and a little bit disappointed because Smash has such a wide array of heroes he plays middle that are so exciting. And Puck is it's kind of standard, but you could still see dynamic plays from Puck, of course. So I'm not going to be too concerned about that. But we talked about Smash being such an amazing player. Of course, Ewo as well. Who is he under an alt again in this game? Is he Angra? I'm not
Uh,
sure.
I can't. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and check that for you. Give me a
Yeah, I
second,
know.
and I'll get back to you on it.
I know he has one alt called Belial. I can't keep up with all of them though, so we'll get that checked out and we'll see for you if that's actually Ewo. Dignitas opt to ban out the Keeper of the Light. Denial looking for their third ban here, but both teams with a team fight oriented opening. I mean, you have the Dream Coil and the Vacuum. You have the sleep into the call down. Of course, there's a carry on the side of Dignitas, maybe even two carries on Dignitas. Denial looking for a solo. Don't really have the carry role yet, but a lot of support bans are going to come out here. That's the main thing. As we see, Chen banned out, Coddle's already banned out, maybe even Nyx Assassin, Shadow Demon, Bane, all going to be subject to possible bans in the coming
Mhm.
stages here.
Yeah, I did some research, by the way, guys. And yes, Angra is in fact Iwo, okay? He's playing under a different name for whatever reason, you know, it happens. This is typical American Dota. yeah, I'm gonna play in like my 30th different name right now and just try to screw you guys over in your casting. It's like, okay, all right, well, but Ewo is definitely a great farmer. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna put up with that carry role. It's not gonna be that anti-mage. They've run Phantom Assassin before, but they like to give a nice support there, including that Wisp, but that's not available for them. Team Dignitas, they're gonna grab the Jakiro, which is a smart pickup so that Darkseer cannot grab it. And I'm actually surprised that Denial didn't grab it because they have that combo with Darkseer and the Jakiro, which I think Dignitas runs so often. But they're just going to go ahead and grab it anyways, just proving that they really love that hero. Not a big surprise there, and Denial is going to have a pickup as well on top of that.
Yeah, and Jakiro, you can see the synergy with Nagasiren as well, being able to sleep into an ice path and then follow up with a call down. It's all looking team fight oriented for Dignitas, and we know how good they are in the laning phase. So if you get out of laning phase with a lead and you turn that into five-man Dota, you're going to win a lot of games that way. They love Jakiro, love what he does. Usually Fog plays him. In the first game of the day, Fog picked up a different hero. I can't remember who it is now, but it was weird to not see him on Jakiro. He is the twin-headed dragon himself.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking for a third pick from Denial here. They already have the solo middle and an offlaner in the Darkseer and the Puck, so it could be a support if they want to throw in something like the Bane or the Shadow Demon still available. The Visage surprisingly still available at this stage. They're going to pick a Sand King though. This is a
I
hero that
like
they've
this.
liked a lot, and a
Yeah.
lot more teams are playing now.
Yeah, I mean, Sand King, and you've seen Fear play it before he switched to that carry role on EG. He played it to great success. I think he's got an excellent early game stun, does a lot of damage. Caustic Finale, really underrated passive as well. Sandstorm can save you in a lot of bad positions as well. And on top of that Epicenter, if you get that farm for the Arcane Boots and even into a Blink Dagger, you're set. I mean, you're good to go. So he does need a modicum of farm to get there, but Sand King, really good, I think, early on in aggressing and just in a tri lane in general. So I'm going to look to see how Denial plays with this and what support they're going to pick up as well on top of that. But I think that's certainly a great support pickup for them right now.
Yeah, and just looking at it again, both teams are so team fight oriented right now. They look amazing on either side. If the engage goes right and Sanking gets in there, then there's a vacuum to follow up on the epicenter and the dream coil. Everyone has to stand in the epicenter and just eat the waves. It
Right.
would be total chaos. So Dignitas still have their team fight, but they have a little bit of an edge up because of the Naga Siren. They can choose when they
Exactly.
want to fight and when they don't want to fight. So it's going
Exactly.
to be big on who gets the first blow, really, who gets in first.
Yeah, it really is all. It comes down to that Nagasiren in their positioning because if they see a potential engagement coming where they don't want to fight, that Nagasiren is going to be key. Puck will come in Dream Coil. Nagasiren could say, "I'm going to stop this immediately." Just throw down that Song of Siren, and boom, everything's done. Everything goes quiet. They can back up. They can choose to TP out, or they can choose to get set up and fight everything. And with a Leshrac pick as well, it also deters them from fighting a little bit more for Denial because that Edict damage as well as a good Split Earth hit will do a lot of damage. But there was really no setup stun other than the Ensnare, which I guess is all you really need. I mean, that's a great ability on top of that. And then the Lena pickup coming out from Denial. You've seen this a lot with, of course, a setup stun with that Burrow Strike coming into a Light Strike array with Alina. On top of that, they've got the Laguna Blade. So they not only have a lot of team fight, they also have a lot of single target damage as well. But it's a lot of magic damage too. That's something to keep in mind. You look at the magic damage, there's no physical damage. They don't have that carry yet. Whereas you have a Gyrocopter and a Naga Siren on Team Dignitas. Denial's putting a lot of their eggs into one basket here. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and I was just thinking that myself. This might be a game where pipe is going to be an essential item. We haven't seen it in a while. It kind of phased itself out, but it certainly can rear its head here. Looking at both of these teams, either team would be pretty well suited to pick that item up. But Lena Sanking, I'm having flashbacks to Dota All-Stars. This was a
Yeah.
monstrous lane, and it certainly is a good 1-2 punch. That's a whole lot of damage coming out from just those two heroes. Then factor in whatever carry they pick up with this last selection. I'm excited to see what it's going to be. It could be the PA. I don't think so because they don't really have the supports to make that work so well. So I'd
Mm.
be more inclined to think a ranged carry would be better off in this situation. But it's hard to really pinpoint which one it will be. Maybe a surprise hero like a Viper and go all in on the early game. But Dignitas do get their fifth pick first. As we see the Morphling and the Lone Druid were banned out with those final bans. They're going to look for an off laner potentially here to round up their lineup. Maybe a safe laner depending how they want to set everything up. So looking at the offlaners available, there he is,
Oh my
somehow
gosh!
left at the
What
fifth
is that?
pick.
How did we forget that the Nature's Prophet? Like we said, they went to freaking Big Lots or Walmart for this pickup for this Nature's Prophet. I mean, like, how did we not see that coming? I guess like I should have a notepad. It's like, oh, which heroes got through? Nature's Prophet.
Nature's
Nope.
Prophet, brought to you by Big Lots.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez, unbelievable. That I can't believe they got that. And they're loving this pick right now. They're just like, well, they just gave us a Nature's Prophet at the 5 pick. So, yeah, we're doing well. But For Denial's side, I did want to talk about if they really wanted to go full AoE magic strategy, they could definitely pick up a Luna, honestly. But as funny as that would be, I'm not necessarily sure that's the route they want to go. But that is honestly one of the best carries out there still to this day, and I'm still, we'll see how that works. I mean, that would be a lot of damage coming out from the Sand King Lena and a Luna lane. That's a lot of nuke damage. So I would like to see that. I think that would be cool to see that, but I think a BKB on any one of those heroes from Team Dignitas could immediately shut down a lot of the damage coming in from Denial as well. So they might just go for a more typical right-click damaging hero. So we'll see.
Only 15 seconds left. It could be a Spectre too, I guess, but it's going to be a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
And Denial are going to make this an interesting game for us just based off of picks. Look at this magic damage. You talked about the Luna going for a lot of extra magic damage, but Shadow Fiend with the raises as well as the Requiem of Souls. Oh my, this is quite the lane. Think about this. They chain off the stun, Sand King, Lena, and then get the raises. But we've talked in the past before, Shadow Fiend's a hero that needs his experience. If you deny him experience, he's far less effective in the lane. And it looks like he's poised to go into trial lane, especially with Angra, a.k.a. Ewo, picking him up here. But this looks like it's going to be an exciting game. Let's get ready to get into the action. This is the American Dota League, the final game of the regular season. I'm Emma John. My co-caster is Mott. We're looking at Team Dignitas on the dire side. Dignitas, we have Fogged playing the Leshrac. Once again, not on the Jakiro. Wow. AUI 2000 on the Naga Siren. So it's going to be a carry Naga. Universe playing the Nature's Prophet. It must be weird for him not playing Lifestealer because he's been playing that here so often recently. Solace
Right.
on the Jakiro and Way Too Sexy on the Gyrocopter. And Mott, if you'd like to do Denial, you can go ahead.
Oh, excellent. I would love to. On the side of Denial on the Radiant side, we've got Misoku playing that fiery Lena, the Lena inverse, if you will. Smash is going to be up on that puck like we saw before. Mihawk will be on the Darkseer. Misko going to be on the Sand King. To round it out, we're going to see Angra, a.k.a. Ewo, up on the Shadow Fiend. And with some 5-man aggression down in that bottom jungle right now.
Yeah, so they're going to actually bring this trial lane safe, it looks like, or just try and chase down this tree to the very end. But it's a little bit interesting to see. I guess if you bring it safe, here's the upside to it. First off, they're not going to be able to rotate anyone in that's going to be effective enough to take down this Shadow Fiend early, in all likelihood. And you're going to be able to pull and get some extra levels on those supports that benefit really well from levels between Lena and Sand King.
Right, absolutely. I definitely think that's what they're going to do. I mean, Misko is up here in that top lane, but I expect him to just start roaming down bottom pretty soon. I don't know what they're going to do with Mihawk. He is going to have that level 1 Ion Shell. He should be pretty safe. I don't think Misko is going to do anything crazy here. It looks like he is backing off down to that mid lane into that bottom jungle as well. And you mentioned Ewo getting some good farming. Yeah, that's the big deal here. I mean, Universe is going to be going up against this lane, and this is a tough trial lane. I mean, if Universe gets close, and even if he's managing to somehow pull these creep waves, it's still going to be difficult. They will be looking to actively gank him, and now Misko does run down to that
It's
bottom
going
lane.
to be a level 1 gank setup, maybe. No, they're just putting a ward here, but it was interesting. Sorry to interrupt you. It looked like it could have been trouble for Smash early in the middle lane. But this is a match we've seen before, of course, as Naga's becoming more and more of a prominent mid lane option. Puck tends to do pretty well, but Naga still gets her CS as we see the Invisible Sand King rotating in. Thinking about going for this, they're not going to have nearly enough damage between the two of them, though. He's going to go all the way to the top lane. And maybe try and catch one person off with Mihawk's Ion Shell help. Fogged might be forced to turn around here, but Fogged is wise enough to just walk through the punches from Darkseer. Those are not going to be strong enough to deter him from making his way back to the lane the safe way. So that was a little bit of danger averted early on. And
they're still going to go.
Oh, wow. The invisible Ion Shell damage taking down to Fogged. He doesn't realize it yet. And a big mistake from Fogged is going to get an early first blood for Denial. And this happened the other day as well with another team. But that is just a horrible misplay from Fogged. Uncharacteristic, but an easy first blood for this offlane now.
What a bait. What a bait for Mihawk. Mihawk knew all he had to do was stand there, make it really easy for Fogged to get that split earth. And Fogg's like, I got this. This is great. This is fantastic. He doesn't realize his health is going down until it's too late. He's probably like, oh, crap. And then there comes that Burrow Strike. So nice plays coming out from Denial. Misko will make his way through the mid lane down back to that bottom. Maybe hitting up AUI 2000 on the way there, but it looks like he's just going to go ahead and head down to that bottom lane, which is going pretty well. Shadow Fiend with 7 last hits right now. So everything going the way of Denial so far, except for, of course, the last hits up in the top lane. And mid, of course, is doing pretty well for AUI 2000 as well on top of that.
Yeah, mid on Aoi is definitely a bright spot. 7 last hits against Puck, only able to get 5. He does have a couple denies for him as well, though, and he'll try and even that out. Misko's going to come in here, look for a stun on AUI, and just actually take an auto attack. He knows they can't kill him. There's no reason to overextend and waste some of his mana. He'll rotate down towards the bottom lane, already having those boots up that you mentioned. He's able to be a lot more mobile early on here, and potentially, I mean, Universe really has to play this safe now. The lane is pushing in his favor, so that's a good sign for him, but if these two supports decide to show their face in lane, then wow, that Nature's Prophet's in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, and Universe is doing a very good job, however. I mean, with this lane that he's been given, he's got 7 last hits, which is pretty good for a Nature's Prophet here. He's up to his boots already, and he's actually sitting right now at level 3, which is doing pretty good. Tied up with that. Anytime you can tie up a Darkseer in an off lane, you're doing pretty well for yourself, especially on a Nature's Prophet right now. He is going to take some right-click damage, but Universe really good at this lane. Meanwhile, you see Misko, he does have those boots. That's really important to have, get that early mobility like you talked about. But it's really going to come down to who can win this laning phase and who's going to roam the best, starting around about the 7 to 8 minute mark and getting into, of course, those ultimates as well. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, middle lane, we see Smash putting a little bit of harass damage onto Nagasaran, but Nagasaran has picked up that poor man's shield, so he's able to deflect a lot of the auto attack damage coming out from Puck. It's going to take probably a level 6 to really threaten him, but at that time, the song might be up as well. So this lane is looking like it's going pretty well for Dignitas. This is what they want. They didn't have any lofty expectations. Maybe eventually they'll rotate in with a smoke gank, but for now, they've got to be pretty satisfied with how middle lane is has transgressed. And meanwhile, top lane, we're going to see the rotation once again. This time, Lina actually coming up here. So Lina and Mihawk are going to drop down a sentry and not actually opt for anything else. Lina doesn't have boots, so this is a really precarious position for her to be in. Doesn't want to get caught out by the long-range disable and the ice path, as she does have that low movement speed. Darkseer does have the surge to try and keep her relatively safe. Here's a TP in from the Sand King, and they're going to try and make something happen in this top lane. This is a very bold move from Denial.
Absolutely. With this trial, they're going to surge Misko in right now, and they're looking for action here. You can see they're looking for a dive, but now they've been spotted, and here this tri lane now spotted from, of course, Dignitas, seeing all 3 heroes up here. Well, not necessarily Masoku yet, but they do see Misko at least. But you can see sitting in the trees is Fog, maybe looking for a Split Earth as well. This could be dangerous for Denial right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Misko's trying to pull those creeps a little bit to try and prevent this from happening, but they're going to get it either way, and this is it's an interesting move because these supports aren't needed on the bottom lane. So they can take this liberty, they can rotate them, make this more of a lane for them. And Shadow Fiend now picking up level 5. Those raises hurt at level 5. That's usually the make or break when he's a mid laner. On the solo lane, it's no different. If Universe gets caught by 1 or 2 of those raises, all of a sudden he gets pushed out of the lane pretty hard. Universe only has 7 last hits. You mentioned before that's pretty good for where he was, but now it's 1 versus 1, and he needs to try and pick up a couple more while doing so safely. Shadow Fiend at 28 and 10. He's really having a good time down there, and it's going to be difficult too because this base damage on Shadow Fiend now with a couple levels up in Necromastery, he's just looking huge. Already hitting for 100 damage for autos. And then the raise on top of it we see already taking Universe down to half health. But top lane looks like it could break at any moment. Stun comes out from Fog. It catches 2, but they'll back up.
Yeah, I actually like this movement coming out from the side of Denial. They realize, like you said, they don't need any babysitters down there anymore for Evo. He's doing enough damage as it is right-click wise as well as raises, and Universe already actually has to go back to base right now and pick up something. Maybe go for a gank somewhere, potentially in the mid lane, potentially the top lane right now. But with, of course, this Darkseer, the Iron Shield does a lot of damage, even at level 2. Masoku, if he can hit that Light Strike array as well, on top of that Burrow Strike coming out from Misko, they can get a lot of damage done here. And this is actually, you can see Way Too Sexy's playing pretty far back right now at this tower. It is pushing it because of that Iron Shield, but, it's still annoying to deal with, as you can see. And they're looking for maybe a wraparound here, or just maybe stop the, of course, pull coming in as well on top of that. But they will just sit here right now, and looking at the last hits, 35 going for Evo, so he is leading the way right now, but only one behind is Way Too Sexy.
Yeah, now we see Nature's Prophet thinking about TPing on this double damage room, but Smash is hasted, and he doesn't want to give up an easy kill to Puck. So Smash is going to get a double damage, and he has haste active. This could be trouble for middle if he wants to play this aggressive, and he is an aggressive player, and AUI is pretty far from base. He's going to take some auto attack hits here. He is able to dodge the Riptide, which is nice, but he's not going to press too hard. As he is at 30 last hits, he's actually behind the Naga Siren. So AUI has done a phenomenal job here. And the other thing worth noting is Way Too Sexy earlier in the day subbed in for Snaking as that 2 role, but right now he's playing the 1 role. He's the hard carry on Gyrocopter. He's doing a phenomenal job right now getting his last hits, even under the tower, which isn't the easiest thing considering the low base damage. But nonetheless, he's been called upon to play some roles that he doesn't play on a day-to-day basis. So it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and that's going to be difficult, I think, when it transgresses through the mid game to the late game as well. On top of that, but you see, they're actually looking for a gank potentially on Smasher in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough gank to catch. Smash is in a pretty good position. He does get caught there, and he illusion orb so that he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Phase shift drops down the ultimate, and he will die. But there's Ronsis there, and the Dream Call is keeping them in place. Here comes Sand King on top of Fog. Fog, a couple more hits from death. One more auto tech should do the job. The Surge is going to put Misko on top of him with the Ion Chill, and Fog looks like he's going to drop down the stun, and here comes the sleep from AUI. Perfect timing. It should keep everyone just barely alive. And that salve really saved Leshrac in that instance. So a nice executed gank nets them one kill and no deaths in response, which was unlikely when you saw how that
Yeah,
actually evolved.
yeah. I mean, that was, first off, that was some enormous play from Smash. Even though he died, he had the presence of mind to realize that the chain stuns were going to be coming, including that ice path. So he jaunted immediately, just, I think, barely avoiding the ice path, but it didn't matter. I think he got caught with that split earth, and then of course the damage coming out in general from just those three heroes alone was enough to take him down. But the TP reactions, the surge coming forth, but the salve saving the life, of course, the Leshrac. Fogged having the presence of mind to realize that he can get away, and then Aoi 2000, like we said before in the draft as well, if you don't want to fight something, if you want to try to play defensive, you can with the Song of the Siren.
Bottom lane smoke. Fog's trying to catch him out here, but they need more help than this, I think. They'd be hard-pressed to get a kill on Ewo with only this, and he's actually going to rotate towards the top lane, where a couple of heroes are waiting. It's Mihawk and Misko, so the Sand King and the Darkseer are here. And there's a whole lot of damage output between these three. The only one here for Dignitas is way too sexy. He gets dove on. He's going to get hit by that Burrow Strike. And now Ewo looking for some damage. He hasn't clicked any skills yet. And a pause comes out. And what a pause!
Maybe not the best pause in the world. I understand that there's lag. Way too sexy. Clearly upset about that. I mean, if I was playing this game too, I would probably be like, yeah, I don't know about that one. But that call down gonna do some significant damage to Mihawk. He does have the Iron Shell on top of him, so way too sexy should theoretically go down. He only has 2 magic stick charges right now. Solace might be able to get the kill. They might need another TP rotation, and you can see Universe is here, just sitting and ready and just looking for that kill on either Ewo or Misko. Ewo does not have his ultimate, by the way. He has no Requiem of Souls. He's got plenty of right-click damage with the Necromastery and the raises as well on top of that. Misko also a little bit in trouble. He's got Sandstorm, but he's right next to the tower as well. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this unfolds. I believe Way Too Sexy should fall, but maybe Denial loses all 3 of these heroes here if they can get either another TP rotation or if the Rocket Barrage can do enough damage, as it's still going right now for Denial.
Yeah, we're about to get right back into it. They really need some damage. And turns around from Ewo, gets the kill, the first kill. Solace is going to look for auto attacks. He doesn't get anything else off, and all 3 do drop. You are right, Maud.
Damn.
All 3 are dead, and they only get Way Too Sexy. But I have to believe that was really bad spike for Ewo, because he was 1 raise from killing off that gyro before anyone else got in the mix, and he couldn't get it off. He just walked up to him casually without even right-clicking him.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting fight. I'm actually proud of myself for getting that right somehow. That went exactly as I had talked about it. So that doesn't really happen too often for me. So I'm pretty proud of that. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Fog's gonna get chased out of the bottom lane here. Masoku and Smash looking for potential initiation, not going to find it, however. But man, that you talked about how good of an engagement that was for, or bad of an engagement, I guess, for Denial, but and a bad lag spike as well. That actually does now bring the, of course, experience down to about 750 in their favor, which is not a lot, and 250 in gold. So they were losing in gold advantage before this. Still a very, very even game right now. Anything could go anybody's way at this point.
Yeah, and that is very true. It's only 4-2 in favor of Dignitas, but Ewo has gotten good farm up until that point, an unnecessary death in all likeliness, and this is going to be big for him as well. If he can farm up a BKB, he's already dealing a lot of damage, and then he's going to be able to avoid a lot of damage. Middle lane, engage on AUI. AUI, they need the silencer to prevent the song from coming out. It's actually on cooldown. AUI is taking a whole lot of damage. A couple of raises would do the job, but instead now it looks like Smash is in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the stun from Misko. He's trying to get the epicenter off, gets netted, it interrupts it. There's a kill onto Jakiru. He's actually the first to drop, surprisingly. Smash is going to get killed off on the side by Fog, and now Ewo's on top of him looking for a raise, gets stunned by the split earth, and a missed light strike array from the Lina is not going to connect onto Leshrac. Leshrac, 1 auto attack from death. Misko gets that kill, and now Ewo's actually going to drop from cleanup crew. AUI coming in, and on the back end it looks like just the damage from the Edict is going to get a kill on Sand King, and AUI is also going to kill off the Lina, but now AUI is very low on health. There's no one left on the side of Arctic, though, to respond outside of this Darkseer who's getting jumped on by Way Too Sexy. He's got to back up as well. So a really awkward engagement. It turns out really favorable for Dignitas yet again.
You said it. Awkward, I think, was the word there to use. I mean, they should have had everything to be able to not only kill that Leshrac really easily. They took down, of course, Solace really quickly on that Jakir, who's playing pretty much up front. They should have went for AUI 2000 immediately. Instead, they rotated over, looked for the Leshrac, who was somehow Fog was able to get off that second edict and killed like two people with it just by dying pretty much and just having them all sit around there. Universe came in a little bit later than necessary, but he was able to also help clean up. And AUI 2000, of course, with that Riptide damage, with his right click damage, is able to get a bunch of kills, and that gives him a ton of gold as well as experience on top of that. He's sitting at level 10 right now. He goes for the Vitality booster, which he might keep till later, or he could build into that heart directly. But one thing is for sure, he'll have that, and that's going to make him tankier right now. But 4 to 8, it was looking okay for Denial, but that last fight is not what they wanted, and that drops them down 2,000 experience behind and 1,000 gold as well.
Yeah, you brought up a lot of good points. I mean, I don't know if you're seeing the same fights that I am, but Shadow Fiend is really reluctant to let these raises fly for some reason.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the Dream Coil in play, that pretty much limits the scope of where that Naga Siren could have went. So he should have landed two, maybe even all three raises, really, and then that would have been a dead Siren. But he's canceling pretty often, and ones that probably would connect, and way too on the top lane actually gets picked off by Puck jumping in on him. And that's going to help Smash to work towards that blink. It's already 12 minutes in, so he's not really on the timing he wants to be, but 770 gold towards it. Hopefully he can get in the next couple of minutes if you're rooting for Denial. On the flip side, Dignitas have done a good job of shutting him down pretty effectively. Already 2 deaths on the Puck. You don't see that too often early on in the game because of his ability to survive in a lot of encounters. AUI pops off the song, catches 2 supports right next to each other. This is going to be that Ice Path setup. They pull back the song. It gets both of them. The Split Earth is there as well. Vacuum, reinitiate. It's going to come in hard. Universe is low. One more auto attack will take him down. Smash is trying to survive now. Mihawk trying to run away. Mihawk is going to drop in the middle of the fight, and the Ice Path catches Smash. 4 are dead for the side of Denial, and it looked like for a second they may have gotten off a good reinitiation. Puck jumping in with the Dream Coil and a Burrow Strike, but not enough damage there. And Dignitas take another huge fight, and everything is going their way right now.
Yeah, and that fight really, I think they were in a lot of trouble. But the big key was Evo was nowhere near that fight. He was down bottom lane farming. It was a 4 versus 5 engagement. The re-engagement was beautiful coming out with Smash with that Dream Coil on top of that, the Burrow Strike as well, I believe it was. And they had a lot of damage there. They were almost able to get a bunch of heroes for heroes killed on Dignitas' side. But I gotta say, when you're fighting 4 versus 5 without your main damage dealer, who, by the way, does a lot of damage early on with that Necromastery, on top of the raises and the Requiem, it's really tough, and I'm surprised that they decided to go in that fight, knowing that they had that tower there where they could TP in. And on top of that, Howie with a beautiful Song of the Siren. The Ice Path, of course, was so easy for Solace to hit. And then on
Here
top
comes
of that,
the smoke gang towards
out.
jungle. They're going to run into Universe. Actually, chain off the abilities really well, and Universe is just going to drop here. AUI is here. Does he want to throw out a net? He does. He catches Misco, but realizes there's more help to come, and Smash jumps in. He jaunts in and gets the kill on top of Fog. And now AUI is the next target. A good stun from the Burrow Strike. Silence onto AUI. He pops off a haste rune, though, and he's going to be able to hightail it out of there. But 2 good pickoffs from Denial off the back end of a smoke, and all of a sudden they're back in it in terms of kills. They're only down by 4 now, 12 to 8.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. They needed a little bit more than that, but nope, the Dream Coil misses. A nice bait coming out from Aoi 2000, but I think they wanted to go on that fight, realizing that they might have some way to kill those squishy heroes on the side of Denial, but they didn't realize how many heroes were actually there until, of course, those heroes went down. So Aoi 2000 is like, I threw the Ensnare out, but it didn't really do a whole lot, and now I lost a bunch of teammates as well on top of that. But they need more than that. You see the towers, of course. Actually, there's still the tier 1 mid as well as bottom for the Radiant side. Dire side, they're only missing the bottom as well. So 1 tower going for each side. If we look at the graphs here, it's still very, very close. I mean, the gold is at 0 at this point in time. So even though Dignitas is leading in kills, it's still a very even game. And Ewo has got 100 last hits right now. And he's got a Shadow Blade now. He just picked that up as well. So he's going to start hitting pretty hard on top of being very mobile as well.
Yeah, and he got that Shadow Blade the same time that Darkseer got that mech. So all of a sudden, their team fight's looking pretty solid. On the side of Dignitas, just flipping through, looking for any of those big team fight items coming out from them. It looks like they don't have a mech yet. It doesn't even look like anyone started it, to be honest. So they're a little bit behind in that regard. And we talked about the sheer amount of burst damage they have in the middle of these fights between Laguna Blade, between Requiem, and everything that Puck and Sand bring to the table. This could be the timing for Denial to try and really get some momentum, get a couple kills, chain up one or two good fights, but they need to coordinate a little bit better and make sure that these three-man gang squads aren't running into five men from the side of Dignitas like they have in the past couple of engages. As you saw in that last smoke, they were able to catch off that 1-2 combo onto one target, and that's what they really want to do. They want these skirmishes. They want small numbers because they do have a whole lot of damage coming out from these supports even.
Yeah, absolutely. And they almost did it again there in that top jungle, but they realized they had made mistakes earlier by doing that same thing. Even though Universe is down bottom, Universe is not somebody that you want to say, oh, well, Nature's Prophet down bottom. It's fine. We can totally engage here. No, he's got a 20-second cooldown teleport where he can go anywhere on the map. So I'm pretty sure they realized that even though they saw one person on the map down bottom, they didn't want to engage there. They were looking to maybe just try to do some pressure top. That's not going to happen. Aoi 2000 is rotating through. He's got 2,000 gold. He might try to set up a song wraparound here, and that would be something else. They have this aggressive ward from Dignitas. You can see it right here. There's the song. It's going to go. Oh, Mihawk, he might make it out of here. Misko's not going to be so lucky, it looks like. Oh, no, Mihawk.
Just barely catching him. Now Misko's going to be the first target. He goes down, does somehow get the burrow strike off. It looked like he was dead when he actually used it, but semantics, and Mihawk is going to be spotted. No, he doesn't commit hard enough. His first instinct was to look in the trees, but he doesn't find the Darkseer. So a small, minor victory for Denial. I mean, they lose a hero, but it would have been much more devastating if that Darkseer had gone down as well. And in mid lane, the tower does get denied from Way Too Sexy, rotating and make sure he gets that deny. He also has his BKB up now as well. So there's one of the teamfight items coming out from Dignitas. Nature's Prophet is building towards a Shadow Blade, it looks like. So still looking for a mech on somebody. It looks like they're not going to have one anytime soon. They're going to fall back onto either Leshrac or Jakiro's responsibility. Sanking, thinking about stunning here, dodges the Ice Path, and now a counter stun and a great engage from Smash. Catches 3 with the Dream Coil, and they know there's no sleep. In comes Misko. There's a Requiem of Souls. 2 are dead instantly. Both of the supports are down. Smash on the high ground trying to do work on top of Universe, but Leshrac was able to kill off Shadow Fiend, somehow getting enough damage to do so. Misko gonna deal a stun onto an illusion. Smash throws out the illusory orb. He now has a rocket tailing him as well. And in comes Mihawk, a little bit late to the party, but they'll kill off the missile before it connects onto Smash. And that was quite the team fight. It looked like everything went Denial's way, and they still end up losing their carry.
Yeah, that was, I think, maybe as favorable as an engagement as you're going to get, I think, for Denial. And they still lost Ewo, and it's depressing, but at the same time, they did pick up 2 heroes for him. He got a double kill, which is certainly really good. He's up to 1,800 gold as well on top of that. He's going to have to get his stacks again of Necromastery, which is annoying, but at the same time, not that hard either. So a really good play, I think, coming out from Denial, but if they were able to have, of course, Ewo live, that engagement is probably 10 times more favorable for them. However, no use crying about it now. Denial's looking good, and they'll try to keep climbing back. I guess it's still very even. They're down 3,000 experience and 1,500 gold, but that's at least a little bit of a detriment now.
Mihawk's taking some damage middle lane, get chained up with the abilities. There's a dual breath to slow him down as well. Surge should get him out of here. He pops off the mech just in case, and he is fine now. But Fogg is in way over his head as we see Ewo come in, but from the side, Universe going to support him. Invisibility popped by Ewo. Jakiro does net the kill on Darkseer, and now Sentry is down, and Ewo is going to drop again. That's 2 times in a row, and you can't afford for your only carry to drop 2 times in a row. And it's not even to the core heroes from Dignitas. It's from the supports +1. Smash is going to get caught by a really nice Ice Path, and he's going to die as well. And it looks like everything is falling apart in the last couple of seconds for Denial. A bad sequence loses them their 3 farming heroes. And I wanted to mention just before, that engage that they had in the last team fight was missing the epicenter, so they have a little bit more potential, but still, nonetheless, losing 3 heroes there, they're on the verge of maybe losing a Roche right now as a response, and it looks like that certainly will be the case. There shouldn't be enough from Denial to prevent this from happening.
No, I mean, they have 2 heroes dead right now. This is going to be too quick, even without a Medallion of Courage. They don't really need it right now. Aui's going to be doing a decent amount of damage, even with just treads. They've got, of course, that Shadow Blade finished up for Universe. He's doing some nice right-click damage as well. And you talked about it. I mean, Ewo going down twice in a row, that is exactly what you did not need there. And in all reality, I think they are not ready for Universe to be a part of these fights, and they don't expect him to be that big of a deal. But really, you have the potential to just dive past towers, get nice split earths with either ice paths, sprouts, whatever, and snares training up, and just allowing to hit those split earths, which is a lot of damage. on top of the edict as well. So they need to start, realizing that, hey, we need to be able to react faster than these ganks coming out from the side of Dignitas here. And now that there's this Aegis going for, of course, Team Dignitas and way too sexy, they can go ahead and push aggressively into these tier 2 towers. And that's going to give them some more gold, which is exactly what Denial don't want, because they're now down 5,000 gold after that last engagement in Roche.
Yeah, and then we see all these illusions out from Nagasar, making it really easy to push this tower. There's nothing Artie can do about this. They're going to have to look for a trade top. The ping was off there, but they're not going to get it either. So this is going to be a free tier 2 kill for Dignitas in the bottom lane, as we do see a couple more items coming up. The Diffusal is up on the Nagasaran, so another big pickup. That means it is a casual vitality booster, eventually probably turn into a heart, but is going to sit back and wait on that. But he has a whole lot of damage to offer now. Those illusions are going to proc the Diffusal, Orb, of course, and it's going to hamper some of the team fight from Denial, because these are all heroes that have big mana cost abilities. Even a couple hits could prevent them from getting it off. And here's the Song of the Siren to set it up. Double TPs coming in, and this could be the end. There's an Ice Path coming out. It's going to catch 2. On the back end of it, we see a huge call down, and Ewo's instant dead. And so does Puck go down, as well as Lena.
Yeah, I mean, that was just easy. That call down, they even only hit 1 with that Ice Path there. But they split Earth from Fog, beautiful. Call down, ton of damage. Flat cannon, whatever. Any damage they can get, just too much damage. 3 squishy heroes. I mean, Shadowfiend doesn't have the most health in the world right now. Of course, the Puck as well as the Lena, they just go down so quick, and they weren't really ready to fight that. I'm not sure what they expected. There's a Song of the Siren. Once again, they're playing into, 3 versus 5 here. I don't know what it... I'm not trying to flame Denial, but it seems like they just aren't ready for these fights.
Yeah, they're up there on the top lane trying to get the tier 1 tower. They know that their tier 2 had dropped on bottom, so maybe they thought they had more time than they did. But either way, Dignitas are rotating as a team, really. They've been playing as a 4 or 5 man team for a long time now, and Denial just haven't. We haven't seen them grouped up. We haven't seen them maximize the full value of their team fight between the vacuum into these other abilities. And as a result, they've fallen behind, and they're on the verge of falling too far behind, to be honest. If we look at the graphs, you can see over 10,000 gold, over 10,000 experience in favor of Dignitas. This is make or break point for Denial if they want to have a shot at winning this game, if they want to have a shot at the 3 seed, I believe it is.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. I believe the 3 seed does get to play the, of course, 6 seed, which is a big deal right now. Smeagol going to be sitting up in the 6 seed for the playoffs. That is not as much has been determined. And 4 versus 5 seed is, I think, a little bit more of a difficult matchup, because you're going to have to be going up against Typical Mistakes, who have, of course, that better record than Smeagol. Typical Mistakes also a better team on top of that. So really, it's just going to make your life easier if you can win this game on either side. And like you said, a little too far behind. That 10,000 gold mark at 23 minutes is rough, especially with the items that they're getting. Leshrac is going for what seems to be an Aghanim Scepter, so his Pulse Nova going to do a lot of damage. Universe has that Shadow Blade. He's going to go for Scythe next. He's got his Midas as well. Universe is going to grab that quickly. And when that Scythe comes up, you can bet that there's nobody on the side of Denial is going to have a BKB, not even close to it. So that Sheep is going to be going, or Hex, I guess, if you will, for quite a period of time. And that's going to be really useful to have against Smash, against Evo, against anybody, and because they have so much magic damage, a lot of it does have to be set up as well. So Dignitas, they're looking good. They've got their strategy going, but they're not going to make a mistake. The Dignitas is really well known for, of course, their strategy where they just like to sit back, get their farm on the heroes, and make sure that the other team makes mistakes and they capitalize on them. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. So they're playing really well.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. They're very patient. They're very meticulous. And to be honest, I'm going back, and Fog gets caught here by a Dream Coil. He's going to pop off the Edict, and it's dealing a whole lot of damage to Smash. Fog manning up, but he's going to get caught by way too many heroes. And in fact, Masuko going to throw out the Laguna Blade just in case. But, of course, that pickoff not going to be that big of a deal. I'm going back to the point where Ewo decided to purchase up that Shadow Blade. If we think about that and say that Shadow Blade, instead it's a BKB, which is only 900 gold difference. He would have had to wait a little bit longer. If it's a BKB, he's dodging a lot of this damage. I know there's the net that goes through BKB, which is kind of frustrating. But in these team fights, he'd be able to output a whole lot more damage if he could survive longer. So I'm questioning that pick a little bit. It's an aggressive pick. It's just not panning out in this game. And Mihawk's taking a lot of damage from these illusions down here. Gonna get hit by the Diffusal charge, and he's actually close to death. Misko has to stun the illusions, and now his sleep comes out from AUI because he wants to finish what he started. But Mihawk is regenning up a little bit. He got the bottle charge off before the sleep. TP rotation comes in from Masuko, and now it doesn't look like AUI knows what he's doing any longer. The chain stun is going to miss, though, so he should be safe. He's going to turn it around once again. Here's another Diffusal charge, another net, and he gets a kill this time. So it took him a while, but he got what he wanted. He got a kill on one of the supports.
Yeah, I mean, Universe coming in there, that's the big play coming out from Dignitas, and we talked about it before, but like, they shouldn't be that scared. They had three heroes there. They could potentially man up against those two heroes. I mean, they didn't know what they wanted to do. They were like, okay, he's backing now. All right, well, now we back. But wait, Universe is here. Okay, well, what do we do? So, Denial again, they're looking a little bit flustered here, and that, I mean, that makes sense. This is a big game for them as well. They know they've already beaten Dignitas once. If they could do it again, they'd certainly be in a good position here. But all of their outer towers are pretty close to going down here. You talked about that BKB pickup, or rather the Shadow Blade pickup instead of the BKB. I certainly would agree with you. Definitely an aggressive pickup, and that would be good if they were leading right now. But honestly, it's not really coming, as a factor here. I mean, the vision is coming from Dignitas. They know that he has it. I mean, there's sentries up consistently unfogged. Dust, of course, on the side of Universe and Smash now. He might be in some trouble here. He should be able to get out, though. He has that blink as well. He's going to jaunt, and yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he gets the high ground. He'll be just fine. AUI doesn't have a song up for 40 seconds, so didn't have the option to pop it there. Otherwise, he may have. And now the song is level 16, so we're going to see it on the minute cooldown, which is going to be really nice because it's set up such perfect team fights. And this is really what Naga Siren is now. The damage is an added bonus. The minus armor she has, she's such a team fight facilitator with that song. Earlier in the day, in a great series, Virtus Pro used her to such a powerful extent. I think we're going to see Naga make her way back to that first ban situation eventually because right now she is alone dismantling Denial, able to set up these ice paths, set up the call down. It has just been devastating, and now we do see Denial trying to stave off the aggression onto their tier 3 tower. It's dropping down below half health already. Fogged is going to make sure the Edict damage stays on the tower. Glyph is just coming off cooldown for Denial now, so they're going to have that option if they want to try and fall back a little bit and maybe save this, as it certainly seems the likely option for them. And Nature's Prophet is now going to finish off his sheep, so another big item coming for Dignitas, another item that ill-equipped for Denial to cope with. They do have a BKB on Shadow Fiend, so it's gotten there. It took 27 minutes. We'll see if it's going to make a big difference in this fight, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big deal when he can pop it and when he can get it off as well. I mean, just 12. If you look at the net worth right now, and this is big, Dignitas has the top 3 net worth people, and they're pretty much right around the same. It does change dramatically for whatever reason, as Universe, of course, has to pick up that Scythe of Eyes, and that makes it a lot better. But obviously, I mean, 10,000 going for the Shadow Fiend. He's the next closest person, but like 11,000, 12,000, 12,000 for Dignitas is really good. And with a Naga Siren, I guess it's just the circle of life as Zowie 2000 goes for a sleep, and they really want to kill Misko. And
they go for Ewo instead. Ewo's going to have to pop off that BKB instantly. He gets it. He's going to look for the Requiem. It's charging now. Gets it off. It does a decent amount of damage to AUI, but it's not enough. AUI gets the kill onto the Shadow Fiend. And with that kill, Dignitas may have just secured themselves the 3 seed as they push towards the base of Big Vacuum, and now a big Dream Coil, but there's nothing to finish off Heroes. Scratch that, they get 1 kill on top of Universe. He's the first casualty. They're going to jump in to make sure they get the Jakiro as well, but Smash has put himself in harm's way. The turnaround on Smash is going to get him taken down, and 3 heroes are dead for the side of Denial. 3 important heroes at that. The buyback comes out from Smash. The tier 3 tower drops. The Raxes are exposed, and we all know the same story that we hear every single time. Rax is exposed against a Nature's Prophet. It's an ugly, ugly place to be.
Yeah, and despite that looking really tremendously bad for Denial, they do a nice job of, just making sure that they secure the Raxes at least. The tier 3 does go down, but Smash and, of course, Mihawk had a great initiation there, really pushing that back, killing Universe, which is, of course, a lot of gold on top of that. And getting Solace as well is not a bad pickup either. So Denial, they do have a little bit of hope here, but it's fading fast. And like you talked about, that set of racks exposed right now with that tier 3 going down. And from here on out, I mean, it's only going to get worse as the farmers are only going to, of course, expedite their farm. There's an MKB on the Gyrocopter right now with a BKB on top of that with a Blade of Alacrity. So his next item is up in the air, but at this point, Naga finishes up a Manta Style, still has that Vitality booster, can go for Heart next if he really wants to. There's an Aghanim Scepter up on Jakiro, looking for a mech soon. So the items for Dignitas are there. Speaking of which, Universe is he's actually looking for a kill on Mihawk. Not going to happen, though, down to that bottom lane. Just too afraid of any sort of, I guess, more aggression from the side of Denial here, but it's looking really good for Dignitas.
Yeah, and Leshrac also has that Aghanim Scepter. They've been playing really well, the 2 supports on the side of Dignitas, Solace as well as Fogged. And Fogged landing all these stuns, the Switterts, with not as much setup as he'd like, honestly. There is the Ice Path, which occasionally hits and he follows it up, but he's hitting a lot of cold stuns without that being there for him. And it really did help him out in the early game. I mean, the laning phase didn't go too poorly for Denial, to be honest. But as they transition toward the mid game, these supports have just upped the ante a lot and made it difficult for Denial. Middle lane, we do see AUI in a little bit of trouble. They're chaining off abilities, and they get a kill on AUI. They use everything. They use the Epicenter, they use the Laguna Blade, they don't use the Requiem of Souls, but they use everything else. That was probably worthwhile.
It's overkill, but at the same time, you really want that bounty. You really want that Nagadet for another minute. There is Roshan available, and that's exactly what it looks like Dignitas is going to go for. They're going to get a double damage to help them along the way of that Rosh. Way Too Sexy is going to pick up that DD. He is going to be going for Yasha, and it looks like also a Sanj, because he does pick up that Belt of Strength. So Sanj and Yasha Gyrocopter. Interesting pickup coming out from Way Too Sexy. At least that's what it seems like as of right now. But yeah, this Rosh is going to go down. No way that Denial can contest this. So with this Aegis, and once AUI 2000's back alive, they're going to look for a push, or maybe perhaps a smoke gank, and just try to pick off a kill, make it a little bit easier, of course, to get into the base, of Denial. And Denial, they're going to go ahead and push out top, just try to get some more farm. Ewo is farming the Ancients right now. He has the Shadow Blade, he's got the BKB, but he's had those 2 items for a few minutes now, and he needs a lot more. The other farmers, of course, Smash is going to be the next one to do some damage here. He's not very close to his Scythe, so we'll see what they can do with the next engagement.
Yeah, and on the last engage, you talked about the fact that there was a good counter engage from Smash, but they still are not able to get their act together. They haven't synchronized their engagement at all. They need to have everyone on top of each other. I mean, you saw Shadow Fiend get off a Requiem of Souls with Naga Siren virtually on him, and it still didn't phase her that much. He needs to do that so he can hit on these supports, these lower health targets, and maximize his damage output through that. But they really just haven't gotten this 5-man initiation since the one fight in the middle lane where it almost got off perfectly. But other than that, they've been struggling to find, because of the song primarily. And now the melee barracks is being targeted down in the middle lane. It's going to drop rather quickly here. And they'll turn towards the range barracks next. AUI is able to catch off Masuku. Masuku's going to drop instantly. Gyrocopter, Prox, and MKB hit. And there's, a diffusal charge onto Mihawk. Takes off of his Purge. There's a BKB from Way Too Sexy. He's looking for a kill, but the Ghost Scepter from Mihawk will keep him alive. On the back end, we see Ewo's going to just barely dodge a stun coming out from Fog. He's going to turn around and try and deal whatever damage he can, but it's not much, and he hasn't used his BKB yet. Here's Smash with the engage, and now it's a better engage for the side of Denial. Can they get something going here? It's their last chance. Here comes the ultimate. The Requiem of Souls is going to clean up the first life of the Gyrocopter. In goes Smash. He's low on health. The Epicenter's dealing a lot of damage to the supports. Down goes Shakiro as well. Buyback flies off from Fog. Misco trying to get back into the base. They lost Darkseer as well as Lina. They may lose Smash here with a bad jaunt. Doesn't get into the trees, and he gets auto-attacked and cleaned up from Naga Siren. So now it's a 3 versus 4 down here as the rotation is coming. Fog re-entering the fray. They killed off Way Too Sexy. That was probably one of the better engages of the entire game, but no song used, and that's probably why.
I think a lot of it also has to do with, they just missed their timing there.
Misco. Just going to get melted down. Fog just melting everybody. Masuko goes down, and that ultimate, the Pulse Nova with the Aghanims, is hitting them way too hard. 177 damage a charge.
Leshrac, baby. People don't know why I love him so much. He's one of my favorite heroes, if not my favorite hero. I mean, he's just so versatile. We go back to that last engagement where Dignitas was looking not the best there, but, they really can get away with that sloppy play and really great initiation from Denial. It doesn't matter. They just don't. They are missing a lot of the items that Dignitas has. Meanwhile,
here's a vacuum. Fog just going to go down. Darkseer gets that kill. Way Too Sexy's the next target. Way Too Sexy doesn't have... he's going to turn around. BKBs are popped. Ewo trying to man up, but even Universe at this point is stronger than him. And look, Way Too Sexy gets pretty low, but they can't finish him. They can't find the damage to get the kill. Universe just too beefy. And look at these items from him. BKB, Sheep, he has a Midasil and a Shadow Blade. He is mighty farmed.
All right, this might not seem like a big deal to some of you, and I'm not 100% sure if this is correct or not, but you can't target a Magic Immune unit with Sprout. It doesn't work, I'm pretty sure. You have to target the ground. So the fact that he was able to do that on Angra, or I guess Ewo, is kind of a big deal, at least to me. I can't pull that off.
Smash in trouble in the middle, and Song of the Sirens to set it up on him. Going to be followed up with the Ice Pack, but they don't pull off the song in time. Little bit of a misplay. The first misplay we've seen. Masuko on the back end going to get taken off within the duration of the Sheep. Universe just cleaning everybody up. He's on a dominating streak on the back end. They do find Smash yet again. He's just going to keep jumping around. Misses the Illusion Orb again. Smash is on full tilt. And there's the ultimate from Solace. This Aghanim boosted Macro Pyre. But it looks like Smash is finally going to get out. Way Too Sexy trying to do work on this Tier 3 in the final barracks. It looks like Dignitas are going to take this game 32-17. Here comes Misco with a big ultimate. He does kill Way Too Sexy. So, better late than never for the Blink Dagger Sanking to make an impact? Probably not the case. As Smash is getting taken down here, he's sheep. Misko's getting hit by all the illusions from AUI. AUI is just going to casually turn around and kill him. And there's a Requiem of Souls coming in from Ewo, but it was a Requiem with only 19 souls, so it's not even hitting that hard. Universe going to get hit by auto attacks here. Fog cleaning everyone else up with that ultimate. And now Ara is going to pop off his BKB and try and get back to the well. The auto attacks from Fog are proving pretty formidable, but he will end up dying as he gets a little bit overzealous. And Smash makes his way back into the well, but the final racks can be targeted now as everyone had to back up a little bit here, and that tower is going to go down. The throne's being taken as well as the tier 4s or the throne towers are dropping quickly. Smash is going to engage on top of Solace. Solace is going to take a little bit of damage from that waning rift. There's the ultimate, the Laguna Blade, and they can't even kill the Jakiro. Icepath's going to fly, and the sheep is going to keep him alive. They can't kill the Jakiro. Down goes Lena. Smash is not giving up yet. He's still hunting. No, now he's going to get caught off by Universe as well as Way Too Sexy, and he does get the kill before he drops. Respect.
Yeah, he's still alive too, and he's actually going to jump out of there with that Blink Dagger. And now it looks like Ewo looking for more with, of course, Universe. But the Gem of True Sight is picked up by Ewo. Universe is going to get just hit once. That gem is, by the way, on the ground.
His throne
So
is taking so much damage. The creeps are just on it, and Sanking's just trying to sandstorm them to death, but it's not really working. And they are chasing Ewo once again, and Ewo, this is pretty much the story of the game for him. Just untimely deaths. He wasn't involved when he needed to be. When he was involved, it was just him dying to odd man situations. It's not the game we wanted to see out of Denial, especially after they got picked up with a sponsorship, high hopes. But, of course, they have time to work at it. They picked a little bit of a risky lineup, I'd say, as the engage comes on Fog. Fog with the Laguna Blade. So frustrated. They just have to kill that Leshrac because he has been annoying. And there goes the throne. But as I was saying, just not the game Arctic wanted, Denial. But they did pick some risky heroes. I mean, seeing that Shadow Fiend come out, we don't see it every game for a reason. He's susceptible to damage. He's susceptible to a lot of damage. And I really think they could have done a lot better had they not been up against this Naga Siren. So maybe in the future they'll consider trying to ban him out. AUI had a monster of a game on him. Final thoughts on the game, Mott?
I like the aggressiveness coming out from now. There was a lot of potential with our lineup, with the damage, with the magic damage as well. But really, they were not ready for Universe, and like you said, AUI 2000 as well, on those two heroes. I mean, just they absolutely went to town. I mean, the TPs coming in from Universe, absolutely spot on. The songs coming in from Naga. And Solace did his job, of course. Solace, just a great player overall, great stand-in. Did a great job hitting those ice paths as well. And, of course, what can you say about Leshrac? I mean, Pulse Nova and just a good hero. People need to play it more. But, man, you know, you're right. I wanted to see a little bit more from Denial. But, you know, this really solidifies my thoughts on Dignitas right now. They're playing great, of course. That game against Liquid yesterday notwithstanding. But just a lot of great play coming out from all the teams from American Dota League. And yeah, I also have to give a big shout out to EG for going undefeated as well on top of that. So a lot of great games going on. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the playoffs.
Yep, that's right. I'm NY John. My co-caster was Mott. You can follow me at NY John TV on Twitter. Where can they find you, Mott?
Oh, if you're looking for my Twitter, you can follow me at MottDota2 on Twitter, as well as twitch.tv/MottDota2. And, of course, before we head out of here, big shout-outs to the ADL. Make sure you check out the ticket and purchase that in the Dota TV stores, $5 as well. Follow the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/American Dota League, and Twitter at American Dota. So, yeah, that about does it for me. So,
yeah, do all those things right now. We got to see pretty exciting games tonight, so thank you for everyone that tuned in, and be sure to tune in or keep up to date. The Twitter of American Dota at American Dota is going to let us know when the playoff stages are following, and things are going to get intense and they're going to get exciting. So we'd love to have you here with us. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you guys next time.